Please take your seats for the second part of the day's poetry festivities here at the Eugene Downtown Public Library. My name is Chell, and Stephen has done me the honor of asking me to introduce him for his performance today. So here's what Stephen says about himself. See, Stephen Blue stands outside the normal conventions of modern poetry. He is a lyrical performance poet, reading and performing his poetry from a unique rhythmic perspective at the crossroads of poetry and music. Stephen wears many hats. He is a poet, publisher, musician, artist, performer, and videographer, as well as host and organizer of poetry events throughout Oregon and California, including this event, the annual See Stephen Blue Poetry Workshop and Poetry Showcase at the Eugene Public Library. As well as his own books, Stephen has published books for the City of Eugene, the Oregon Poetry Association, and other authors. Retired from a 27-year career in stage production in Hollywood, California, Stephen now pursues his poetry career in Eugene, Oregon. He has 4 published books of his own, and he has been published in several literary journals and anthologies, as well as online, where he has won many poetry competitions and challenges. For more information, visit the website www.wordsongs.com. Stephen is also my, awesome. Stephen is also my dear friend and ally in poetry events in Eugene, Oregon. I respect him very much. And I don't know about you, but I use this event, in its 3rd year, I believe, as a way of gauging how far I've come in a year. So that is invaluable. And Stephen does a lot for this community. So welcome him to the stage. See Stephen Blue. Come on.
My poetry hat. Thank you, Kit. Hope you're all having a good time. And in this second hour of poetry, we're going to be giving you some performance poetry. And I'm going to start it off. I'm working on a 1-hour, one-man show based on my newest book, Songs of Sobriety. And I hope to take it into venues, institutions, and recovery centers where it may provide inspiration and hope to those who need it the most. So I'm going to do, first of all, this book took me 20 years to write, and it's based on my own experience with 27 years clean and sober yesterday. Basically, the book chronicles the first 10 years of recovery in chronological order, all told in verse. So I'd like to share you a little bit from that book, from the work in progress of this show I'm going to do for that book. I'm going to do 3 pieces. Get this right, so one more time. Picture a hopeless drug addict, isolated in his loneliness, sitting in a chair, staring out his window, dreaming about a world he cannot participate in, wishing he could find a way out, crying in his lonely desperation. This is called chair dreams. Sitting in my chair, staring out my window, dreaming about all the things I'm going to do and see and be. You're going to love me, and it's going to be the best love ever. If I could just get out of this chair and get it together. Chair dreams, take me here and there. Chair dreams, take me everywhere. Chair dreams, seem so crystal clear for a moment, but then they're gone again, and it's just another chair dream. know I was going to have a hit song and a house in the country, sit in a rocker on my front porch with endless inspiration. I know I was going to paint my masterpiece and write a prize-winning novel. And I remember it sometimes when I'm high enough. But I just can't seem to get out of this chair. Can't seem to get motivated to go anywhere. And my dream slips away to the back of my mind. Till another day, when the right combination finds my chair dreams. Chair dreams take me here and there. Chair dreams take me everywhere. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment, but then they're gone again. It's just another chair dream. Sitting in my chair, staring out my window, dreaming about all the things I'm gonna be. You're gonna love me. It's gonna be the best love ever. If I could just get out of this chair and get it together. Yes, my chair dreams. They take me here and there. My chair dreams, they take me everywhere. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment. But then they're gone again. And it's just another chair dream. Yes, chair dreams take me here and there. Chair dreams take me everywhere. Chair dreams take me out of here. Chair dreams seem so crystal clear for a moment. But then I'm gone again. And it's just another chair dream. Modern miracles. Modern miracles walk through meeting halls, grateful to be alive. Sparkling eyes sent forth to each other for help and comfort in times of trouble. Modern miracles brought together by a common problem, bonded by a common belief. Modern miracles bringing hope through faith and spirit. Society's children shaken and stirred, once bereaved, now reprieved. Live and breathe. Modern miracles. Before and after. Before, it was a struggle. After, it is the cure. Before, we worked so hard for everything. After, it is so clear. I'm here, you're here, heading straight into the light. Because faith and love have graced us, made us whole again. Before, we mourned our inner child. After came the dawn. Before, it seemed there was such rage. After, it's mostly gone. We carry on in our love. Our dreams dusted off in front of us. We stand up walk arm in arm into the sun. Woo! Thank you. So for my last piece, today I'd like to do a piece from my very first book, Word Songs. I'd like to do this poem in honor of the struggle for gun control in our country. As long as the United States is intent on continuing in this violent, unevolved mindset, I will continue to perform this poem. After Vietnam, we turned to a path of peacekeeping in the world that seemed to be working. But then in 1990, Papa Bush invaded Iraq, and it started all over again. And people embraced it and were gung-ho about it. Now we seem to be on a path of perpetual war, and this is so wrong on so many levels, especially today in the 21st century. If you believe what you see and read in the mainstream media every day, the general public is more accepting of war right now than ever before in my lifetime, even to the level of war being exciting and popular with many people. This is just ludicrous, inhumane, unevolved, and totally unacceptable. War will never bring peace. Only peace will bring peace. I wrote this poem back in the 60s, right after my first son was born. The Vietnam War was in full force. Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King had just been assassinated, and gun control legislation was in the forefront of politics, just as it is today. Also, when I was still living in Los Angeles, I used to read this poem every year on the anniversary of John Lennon's death at the candlelight vigil held at his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is my anti-war and anti-gun poem from 1969, Little Toy Gun. I gave you my name, and you gave me a son. He's starting to walk, I can't wait till he'll run. We'll ride him on ponies, he'll have lots of fun. But don't ever buy him a little toy gun. He'll go around shooting you, me, and a friend. But it won't be a toy gun he'll use in the end. He'll find him a real one in the armed forces. I don't want my son taking mass murder courses. So buy him creative things, not for impression. Let him develop his own self-expression. Expression is freedom, but don't get me wrong. I may not be free yet, but I'm getting strong. I have understanding of my own hang-ups. I need understanding so I can be free. And then when our son needs someone to confide in, he always can come to you, baby, or to me. Yes, I gave you my name, and you gave me a son. He's starting to walk, I can't wait till he'll run. We'll ride him on ponies, he'll have lots of fun. But don't ever give him a little toy gun. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so up next is my friend and fellow performance poet, Chell, who introduced me and our performance hour. For those of you who have not yet experienced the wonderful Carry On at Cush Poetry Open Mic that Kit hosts every Tuesday night at Cush Cafe on Railroad Boulevard, you are really missing out. The vibrancy of today's vital poetry is alive and well at this awesome, diversified poetry reading. Poets young and old are represented, and the coffee's great, so be sure to check it out sometime. When I asked Kit for an introduction bio, he offered me this short and to-the-point info. Kit Chell. Kit has been doing this his whole life. If interested, visit kit-chell.com.
All right.
Please welcome Kit Chell.
reading poetry at the downtown Eugene Public Library. And so this year, I wrote a brand new poem for it. Started 2 months ago. This is a debut. How to build an all-purpose poetry kit for daily use by Unknown, otherwise known as Chell, aka Muhammad fucking Ali. To build an all-purpose poetry kit for daily use, you must first gather a 3-kilo bundle of uncompromising distaste for everything that is not kit. This will be the core or nucleus of your practical daily use poetry kit. Next, you must place the 3 kilos of distaste in a large antique washing machine and wash it on the highest setting for 8 to 10 cycles, depending on the coarseness of the distaste you have selected. Overwashing is not possible, so have no worries that your distaste will be harmed. Frequent and aggressive washing will keep your distaste pliable and dynamic. When your 3-kilo load of distaste is thoroughly cleaned, shiny and bright like new distaste for everything shiny and bright, place the distaste in an oversized industrial bread dough mixer. Add copious amounts of tears, fears, doubt, jeers, nonsensical cheers, a few micro-brewed beers, some extra pinches of sugar, fat, and salt. Then begin the industrial bread dough mixer at a very low and slow speed. The batter smells rancid, doesn't it? The mixer is stirring up the ingredients of your daily use poetry kit, and the smell is overwhelmingly stanky. Downright roadkill slaughterhouse in the blasting afternoon heat, sweltering, fetid, and aromatic beyond any recognition. It smells absolutely horrible. Continue mixing at slow speed while you gently sprinkle a pinch or two of hope, dream, vision, mystery, yearning, belief, faith, muscle, grit, determination, heroism, kindness, empathy, and love. Add a little more love. Keep mixing. Add just a bit more love. And a little bit more while mixing at low, slow speed. Turn the industrial bread machine up to medium strength and keep adding doses of love. Love. Shake it right in there. Keep shaking. Shake and shake and shake and shake until there is no love left to shake out. Throw the container that the love was in into the mix. Mix the love and its container together in the mix. Mix it up together right there. You must mix it up together in the bowl, in the industrial bread making machine. Mix it up so that the love is no longer visible. I repeat, the love must not be visible to the naked eye. The love is invisible because you have mixed it up so well and thorough. You can no longer see the love, but it is there holding all the other ingredients together. Now rest. Now the real work begins. Unhook the bread dough mixing bowl from the industrial bread making machine. Watch out! It is very heavy stuff you are lifting, so watch out. Lift the giant bowl up and dump your dough right on the table, right there, dump it right there, slam, splat, thud, sproing, and admire that slimy, unshaped thing right there on the table. Right there it is. Knead it. Knead it for all you are worth. Knead it, knead it, knead it, knead it with your hands. Get your whole body into it. Knead it, push it, shove it, pat it, love it for all you are worth. Knead it. If you don't want to get dirty, get naked and knead the hell out of it for as long as it takes. Make it a delicate, supple, slightly bouncy to the touch texture. Ah. Now shape however you like. Cook it in the fires of toil, trouble, fire, burn, and hellfire bubble. Bake it hot, hotter than hot. Bake it on full at top heat, the very highest setting, ridiculously hot, like the 9th ring of Dante's Inferno hot. You might awake in the forest and wonder where you are sometime. You might wonder, how did it ever get this hot? Keep it in there until absolutely the last moment, millisecond, nanosecond, time, almighty time, now. It is time to pull it out now. Jump and pull it out now. From the fire, jump now. Don't wait any longer now. Don't fail now. Do it now. Because if you don't, who will? And why are you listening to someone tell you how to make a daily use poetry kit? It has always been right there. With him, just waiting, awkwardly lingering at times. It wanted to, but no but, as if and not, doesn't matter. Have I told you how gorgeous you all are today, and that I love you? Shake it up.
I want a poetry kit. That was awesome, Kit. Thank you so much. Wow, Michael, you're really tall. So, joining us now is Michael Hess. Let me tip this down so I can see myself. Kit and Michael, by the way, often perform together, bouncing off each other's work. Michael has graciously consented to offer us some of his unique verse solo today. And I asked him for a little bio, and this is what he gave me. Michael Hess has been a commercial fisherman, an organic farmer, a journeyman carpenter, and a forester who practices sustainability on a 40-acre piece of land he owns where all the wildlife can enjoy a natural environment. He feels his love of life and our environment is best sent out to the world with his music and poetry. He has lived on and off again in Eugene, Oregon since 1983. Please welcome Michael Hess.
Come on.
Thank you, Stephen, and it's good to be here again. I've had the privilege of performing here the past couple of years, and it's just awesome to be invited back. And this year I'm going to be soloing it up here, which will be a little different. Last year, Kit and I did a duet, and the year before that, we actually got to perform a piece he does, Hard Knock Skin, for those of you who are familiar. I didn't see until I got here that I would have to follow him, though. Not a problem. I'm going to start with a piece titled The Sword. The sword, yes, rust upon the blade. Time made, no more pain, no more slain. The sword lays there, free of malice, free of the hunt for the golden chalice, free of the hand to wield it, free of the other hand to shield it. Yes, once the sword spoke for its master, rose to disaster, arced to the air with velocity and veracity. The sword lays there, gathering dust, gathering rust, free of the mind that directed its carnage, its pillage, its spillage of blood. Yes, in days of old, in stories still told, there were those so bold, so cold, hearts as cold as the steel of the sword. The sword lays there in repose. Are we to suppose no more violence come hither, no more flesh to wither? Yes, the archaic weapon where foes are beaten, skills were used for its kills. Courage was made behind the blade. Woo! The sword lays there alone, nothing to atone, its purpose gone, its glory gone, no more story, no more song. Yes, there was a time when pride and faith were its ruler, when the blade left its scabbard, when all was left tattered. The sword lays there quiet, tempting the fates, tempting the gates of hell, asunder from the hand of man, no longer in the plan. Yes, man, most dangerous of beings, with sword in hand, ruling the land, going from village to rape, to pillage. The sword lays there, its story told in days of old, when brutal was the rule, life fell to the flash of steel, which we all still feel. Yes, the rust upon the blade. Time made, no more pain, no more slave. All right, this is titled Going Out With You. Your phone is in between us. It appears to be more important than me. Wouldn't want to suppose you could turn it off. No, I didn't mean turn you off. It's just that the phone seems to be a third party. Maybe you could look at it later. Is that Facebook you're on? Am I defriended? That glow on your face makes you look so beautiful. Can you Wikipedia if I'm human? Let's Google and see if we can make it together. Is that text from your last boyfriend? I'm afraid your phone is smarter than I am. Are you twittering how much fun we're having now? Is that on vibrate? Because I know where you should put it. I sure hope that's your battery beeping. Thank you and your phone for going out with me. I really enjoyed your guys' company. You guys should call me someday. Born into a civilization of denial artists. Ignorant, deaf ears. Clouded, materialistic eyes. Born with no silver spoon, no golden ring to reach for, thrust into a system where lies of omission rule. Born free, but no more free than every expectation where toil holds the promise of wealth and prestige. Child, innocent of heart. We grow to trust who loves us. We seek out that energy of love like a fire to sit by. Child reflecting off of all that is in front of itself. Reflecting back ourselves, the teachers. Child learning to survive in this civilization must compete and sacrifice the love and the warmth of the fire. Adult with the power to control. Dominate nature, driven by demons to succeed, but not in love. Adult that yearns for love, searches for it, misses it, remembers back to child, back to born. The fire. Adult as seen through the eyes of a self, the eyes of the world.
Yeah.
Tsunami. As I walked along the beach, wondering why her life-giving waters had receded so far back on the tide. In my mind's eye, I did not want to believe what it was that I saw coming, but in my heart, I knew it was the way of her. So I stood there and watched her wave approach, knowing that I could not run, knowing I was too close into her wrath. I stood there, frozen in fear, accepting my fate. I had put myself in the path of her destruction because she had given me the life to stand there with. She struck me with all her force, and I surrendered, knowing she would want me to become part of her chaos. Somehow, after all the terror, I awoke to see that she had spared me, but she was gone. And I was not the same man anymore. Today, as I walk upon her shore and gaze out upon her beauty, I wonder if she will beckon me back into her world, back into her heart, back into her life-giving womb. Alrighty, we got one more here, and there's a few out there that might want to join in this, and you're more than welcome to. The cat chased the dog up the tree. Go, dog! Go! See the dog out on a limb. Go, dog. What a happy cat that was. Go, cat. Go. See the dog growing wings.
Go, dog.
Go, dog, go. Then the cat lay down for a cat nap.
Go, dog.
Go, cat, go. See the dog taking flight. Go, dog, go. As the cat dreamed of tree dogs. Go, cat, go.
Go on, cat.
See the dog fly. Fly, dog, fly. Go, dog. You're free.
Go, dog.
Free of that tree. And for now, the cats.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was awesome. Okay, next up, we have a young poet who I met at the Tuesday night readings at Cush Cafe that Kit hosts. I had two poets actually, Andrew Gonzalez and Candace Perkins. Candace had a family emergency and cannot make it today. But Andrew's here. They both helped me in making the recent Festival of Eugene Poetry Stage a big success. So I asked Andrew for a bio, and this is what I got. Andrew Gonzalez hates writing bios because they appear so prosaic, platonic, and as far as introductions are concerned, are virtually faceless. He is a student, lives in Oregon, likes to read, go on adventures, and be whatever he wants to be in any given moment. But if you really want to know something about him, you can listen to his poetry or hang out with him while he improvises his moment-to-moment existence with you in front of you. Please welcome Andrew Gonzalez.
How is everybody doing?
Awesome.
Yeah, right on, bro.
Do you need height?
Maybe a little bit higher. I guess you're going to find out something about me. That's good. All right, so I'm going to read or recite two different poems. The first poem is called Mushrooms and Brownies Seem to Always Cause Feelings Like This. And The second poem is entitled, Why Real Poets Have Sex. So we are going to go there, and then we're going to go there. And that's just what's going to happen. And you're along the ride with me. We'll just go down this trip together, all right? So the first one, mushrooms and brownies seem to always cause feelings like this. We are dreaming. And when moments become memories, we must learn to stay awake. Drifting lucid through multiplicities of mental states, sifting through them for a ghost we can call holy underneath them. Sometimes thinking we found something, other times thinking we found nothing, remembering. Even this is just a phase in our awareness, so many things passing through us like strings and percussion and stories told to us beside our beds and terrors we have woken up from, and bodies passing back and forth within each other, drinking deeply from the energy you and I can see floating from every item in this room, each object a shape of ourselves that we have been or will be, scissors and quarters and cell phones and rocks. We can be so many things at once that defining ourselves as anything is defying possibility. We should see even this moment as a memento of something that has just passed into gusts of wind and hurricanes, and we are sprinting so fast trying to catch up with the this, the now. The whatever the hell is going on here, lucidity. We are undefinable beings even as we see and feel the borders boxing through us. Groping vanity, impermanence, and futility. These are goads placed perfectly by God's good henchmen, guiding us to muses ready to make miracles burst from wombs, terse held tight in each cell, infinitesimal like crop circles from Pluto. Each one of these is a goad that God has given us to let the existentialist in us pierce through us. And realize that there are more of these damn goads everywhere than any of us could have expected. They're all over everything right now. We are even made of them. So sensitive enough to see we could feel so much suffering. So much discomfort and angst laced into every bleeding second we are in this place. Oystered within, yoked to anything under the sun we hope to find refuge in. Like genies through the desert sands, chasing mirages. Banging! Banging! There is clanging from the outside, kitchen pans bashing. And at these times, we can feel it. You know those times when you feel like you're dreaming. It is circuitously frictious in a way we hope is not malicious to fracture us, but it is beyond that. It is each change in tempo an invitation to forget the last song and become enthralled in dynamics you will find your limbs meshing with if you let them. Even if it is a new beat. Even if you feel offbeat. All you can do is you keep breathing and you keep dancing. You stop thinking about what you should be doing and you be enthralled in learning what it is to be and be a being such as this. Undefinable by any microscope or telescope or isotope or shape or slope. You are not defined by shapes. Shapes are defined by you. You do not beat to tempos, tempos beat to you. And seasons change for reasons we're not all that privy to, like me and you. Going in and out of this. Dreaming, awake, lucid, so real, solid waves percolating, pieces shattered, endowed. We are well-endowed beings. To be so filled up in this awareness that the providential goads are invitations to openness. That the universe can always be weirder than you think it is. Those goads poking through as points inside poems, challenging us to speak to ourselves from different perspectives, to try on different voices, and do that long enough to realize we're all just playing around. And this is meant to be. And if it's not, it's wrapped up in inevitability just as good as fate. You see, I know who you are, and you know who I am, because I see you, and you see me, and I am like you, and you are like me, just as I am as you, and you are as me. So whether or not we ever meet, we understand each other. I'm dying, and you're dying. But I'm not you dying, and you're not me dying. We are dying separately, together. You and me, it seems undefinable even by these words, just letting the Spirit move us whatever way it does, and sometimes the Spirit seems to contradict itself. A goad to interrupt our Tao, to come to realize we have not been bowing to existence properly. I mean, look at me. Look at you. Who do we think we are to be doing any of this? And we take one deep breath to swallow what we're doing, and that's it. That's the impact. A goad on top of a fucking goad, and there's God fallen there. Dude's been through a lot, but there he is, still breathing. Thank you. How are you guys doing out there? Still along for the trip?
Two minutes. Can you do two?
I think so.
2 or 3.
Two or three. Okay. Three?
It might be 3. We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Why real poets have sex? What is this being that you and I are participating in? My visage is beheld by you, a remnant of the day before, my cell's anticipation of what I shall become. And in the flight from there to there, here I am, a papier-mâché stick figure. A brightness in between two shades, a fading into darkened dens with evacuated jeans laying empty on carpet floors where sacred communion is the sticky fluids entrusted between limbs, spread and folded into eagles, so American, so African, so Indian, so barbarian, so human. And so, you ask, as I lift the chalice, raise up to my lips to wet your whistle with some words from my philosophy. And I say I was never anything, nor shall I ever be, but an untamed babe in shock in all the ways made up to say one thing and tell one story. So to do so would be simply to fill the silence with my language as an excuse to occupy this space and look at you from this perspective. And I am willing, but there are ways I'd rather speak than ways involving words, but my tongue will not be still to wetten lessons learnt by speaking a native language born before the birth of diction. Before Victorian era affliction and argumentation addiction, there was a feeling felt that said, what is this being that I participate in? And instinctually man went looking where he came from for the answer, returning some piece of himself to pay homage to a foreign land he once called home, and reminisce in manners vague rather than specific, because that could get creepy, of what untold truths were forgotten behind the veil of the universe, and wisdom held in the subtle expectation of nourishment from maternal incubators for the sons and daughters of God, the fathers on their knees in prayer, sometimes reverently, sometimes violently, ever perplexed at what their cock is trying to point them to. Like a flashlight in the dark used to illuminate another person, men insert but cannot see the point of view that they are getting, and prostrate themselves before goddesses of fertility and let them ride, if only for masculinity, to once look up to femininity. And behold what qualities were stolen from our sides, when androgynous human became male and female and God became anthropomorphized. And Plato wrote of genders torn asunder and not satisfied, as the locks and keys go searching for the right combination to unlock mysteries, asking, what is this being that I am participating in? Who is this being I'm participating in? And what was lost to me that I am now within? Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stephen, can I say something for a second?
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so our other poet, Candace Perkins, couldn't be with us today, and so the next one in line was Karen Dalyea. Karen, I just published Karen's book, Songs of the Worm Whisperer, and we just had the book release party about a couple weeks ago, and Karen is a very unique type of poet. So because it's so late and she just is impromptu today, I didn't get a bio for Karen, so I'm just going to read you what I wrote on the back of her book. On-the-spot poetry. Live, spontaneous, improvisational. This is how Karen A. Dalyea performs her poetry on stage. But she does not just perform it, she creates it live on the spot. So, I'll read you the rest of this too. In Songs of the Worm Whisperer, Karen proves her spontaneous poetry is not only live, it is vital, immersive, and essential. She lives in the world as it exists in the here and now, and her poetry reveals those sensibilities. With astute perception, she shows us the world with all its cracks and crevices, open and in view. So Karen is going to create something for us right on the spot.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Please welcome Karen Dalyea.
I want to thank everybody for reading, and Stephen and Paulette, and everybody was so awesome. This is my book, but I thought I'd read a couple of poems real quickly from it, so you get an idea of what you might be reading. So I'll just read this and go impromptu a poem real quickly. Gear the truth with an angry page. Run the words with tears and blood until the ink is dry. And then send your fire to the sky. Faded clouds ignite the sky. Time loosens your color. And every face passes without notice. You are alone in pools of sorrow, having bitten the fallen truth, thrown fruit. Your belly aches for love. And as poets who fled from thirsty pens to hide in hallowed trees, I seek to attract my words and find a midnight branch to climb. Hey, that's just one. I'm going to this is all coming right out as I speak, okay? The moment undresses itself, clothes that were not necessary, unfolded, dreams set aside, that gathered in the corners of my brow. And I look in desperation to find something to cover my naked soul with. The breath of me is like a vapor in my hand, and I finger it and play it like a violin, or press it to my lips, a flute to speak my heart. My clothes of self, disheveled masses of fabric that life has lent me, or that I stole from the corners of time, and I wander in search of something, leaves to gather, press them on my body, glue them with my tears and sweat, the spit that I spoke out on, the streets of anger and despair, the things that I clinged on to that seemed to steam themselves against my skin. And I wandered there. And in the corner where these dismissed robes of honor lie, I look and find my cats there placed, sleeping comfortably in this heap of my life discarded. I don't know whether to pick up my torn shroud that I soon shall be buried in. What is that t-shirt that I wore that spelled out an invocation, an avocation to the gods? I don't know anymore. It seems to me that my nakedness, my reality, is partly misgiven and partly misconstrued. My body is obtrusive, and it seems to be an awkward mound of energy and flesh, and it quivers at my own soul touch, and I seem to wander in vacantness and some sort of unloved heart. I don't know why I cannot accept my fingers. They extend from my arms like tree branches, and they dance and they speak and they kiss the wind. And every stroke of my hair from those leaves is what I am right now. That I actually wish I were more tree than human. That I could actually be more like paper than flesh. That you might turn my pages like you kick the leaves, and I kick these discarded pieces of cloth aside. So I stand naked in the covers of my own reality, the covers that I create with every breath and every teardrop from my eyes. And the wind and the rain undress me further until I am no longer but a fathom of what I was. So here I stand, in front of the mirror of myself. I think there shall be no more misgivings.
Thank you so much, Karen. Karen's unique brand of poetry. All right, so on that note, we'll take another short break and come back in about 10 minutes. Thanks.